Hi, everyone, and welcome to Back Talk by Successful Black Parenting Magazine, the first national magazine for parents of Black children. I'm Janice Robinson Celeste, your host and publisher of Successful Parenting Media. I want you to tell all of your friends and followers about the show. After all, caring is sharing. And know that our hashtag for the show is hashtag BackTalk. Now, today we're joined by Larry Adams, a digital marketing and media veteran with a passion for innovation. As the founder and CEO of BLKFAM, Larry is revolutionizing the family friendly entertainment world. Join us as we dive into his journey and exciting world of BLKFAM. Welcome, Larry. Oh, you might be muted.
Thank you so much for having me, Janice. Great to be here. Really excited to share the story, talk about where we're headed, answer all your questions.
Oh, fantastic. Now, if you're listening to this through the syndicated podcast, then you will get that as soon as we are finished, that where you can share it with your family and friends. So make sure you do that. So, Larry, we want to know all about BLKFAM. So tell us about it first.
Sure. So BLKFAM is the first Black-owned, Black family-focused streaming service to launch here in the US and soon globally. Our focus is and our mission is to remove the bias of Black family portrayal in media and really bring a moment that we all know we have when we sit on that couch on Saturday afternoon with our kids and don't know what to watch. We're going from app to app to app and filtering through a bunch of stuff that we shouldn't be sharing with our kids just to get something to watch together. So BLKFAM is solving that problem for all of us and doing it in a way that's entertaining, that is unexpected, and that feels progressive and futuristic. We're talking about Black folks and we are living in the future always. So we are not going to try and bring back old things. We're going to really look for the future and how things can be portrayed as we know they are in our life. So.
And I love that because it's very progressive and you can't be what you can't see, right? So this is
Exactly.
why we love this platform as a Black parenting magazine. So let's talk about that. Like what sparked the idea for BLKFAM in the first place?
I mean, I've been in the business of streaming for a long time, even before it was called streaming. We called it connected box experiences. There were things, but in all that time, I really didn't feel like there was a place for my Blackness and my family's Blackness, and I really didn't understand what it could be until I met Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi, we met through a mutual friend, and I was talking about this sort of experience of like, I'm not sure what to do, and she's like, we need to start something. We need to do something. Let's just create a whole new way of experiencing content and opening the doors for people to see themselves reflected, but also for creators to come home, really, to find a place that's a home that is not in a carousel, buried and then canceled. Like, I love what she says. We're going to be the yes service provider, not the no to creatives.
I like that. Now, Whoopi is involved with this. That's so huge. Now, how does her involvement shape the creative direction of the platform's programming?
Well, I mean, to call her an expert is an understatement. Her nature is to really understand how to bring to life stories, how to entertain, and also really, because of her experience, how to operate in this business that's like transitioning from the old way to the new streaming way. So where she brings creativity, she brings joy, she brings all of her experience. And it was really funny because as we were talking about what should we develop first, and we're actually working on a couple of ideas right now. But she's like, I have like 25 plus years of ideas, Larry. So we're gonna go in the bag. I often call her my fairy godmother of streaming, and she pulls out these amazing ideas that make us all laugh and I think are going to be hits. So it's having her neck involved. She's not only a creative person, but really just a very like strong, positive energy that is sort of keeping us going. And I think people often think, oh, is she involved? She's very involved. We talk weekly, we talk often, and she's really into this.
Oh, fantastic. Oh my gosh. So she's hands on.
Very hands-on, yes, in a great way.
I am so glad she's not just lending her name to something, but that helps too, But being involved, that's a whole other step that will take you just rocket you guys,
100%.
there. So fantastic. Now let's talk about how this streaming platform fills a major gap in the streaming market. Like the Nielsen data that I saw sheds the light that the representation for Black audience, which we really know already, in the mainstream media is very low. So how do you tackle this challenge and ensure that Black families see themselves authentically reflected in the content?
Well, I think, first of all, we've all known this truth. I think the moment that we all experienced together during the pandemic allowed this conversation to come forward. The George Floyd event really changed everyone's perception of things. And it was a horrible tragedy, but out of that came a new dialogue. And so I think what came out of that was understanding that not only were we not being represented on the screen, but the information about us was not being represented either. Our interests, what we're watching, our motivations, our emotions. So those things are all been undercounted for so many years. And so I think the Nielsen study is just the tip of the iceberg. When we launched, Whoopi just made a very quick mention on The View. We had tens of thousands of people come to our site within the first few hours, sign up, and then start emailing me directly, which I'm really happy about, saying, how can I help you? From everyday people were like, how can I help you? How do I promote this? Tell me what you need. Can I send money? And we're like, thank you, just watch. There is such, when we put out things that are credible and authentic, we stand up and we represent and we go to that and support that platform. So I feel it. And so I even changed the way I think about it, because originally this is a gap in the marketplace, but it becomes now not a gap in the marketplace from an opportunity perspective, a business perspective. It's really a gap in the marketplace that I feel almost like a servant to the audience. Like I'm now serving the audience. I have to bring high quality content, stick to the mission, and really drive the narrative around us from a family perspective and start to change the paradigm. I work in a world where there's tons of stereotypes around our family structures, and start to change that, change the missing dad story, the uninvolved dad story, start telling stories of very involved dads. We all, we know those guys. I am that guy, and yet we don't see ourselves represented in media. So that this is the answer to that, and that's the mission. And so I see it as a gap, but I also saw it as a gap that was sort of systemically structured because of the data, but because the streaming world has really unlocked our ability to connect directly with audiences. It's sort of like, it's up to us to start these things. And I was asked recently, like, what about competition? I'm like, no, there's no competition for us. We're all together creating a category. And what I'm feeling now, which is really interesting, is that our name is becoming a genre. Like, oh, this is going to be Black family content. It's now, I feel like we've unlocked a whole new way of thinking about storytelling.
No, that's fantastic. Because you're right. There's no competition out there. We needed this for a long time, and I'm looking forward to tuning in. But you're feeling the love that's out there for you. Yeah, that feels so good, and to know you have all of that support, and we support you here too as well.
Thank you, Janice.
No problem. I'm going to ask you to help paint a picture for our audience who's listening about what to expect when they tune in from your original series. I understand you have some coming up, which are very exciting, to the animation,
yes.
documentaries, syndicated shows. What can families expect when they tune in?
They can expect content that they would want to watch with on the couch together. So there's gonna be comedies, there's gonna be live action, drama. We're really, really focused on bringing to life the African diaspora as a part of our experience. So we're gonna have content that highlights the continent, cooking, family challenge. We really believe in reality, that there is a way to show us in reality that is positive. We've often been put in reality situations that don't let us don't represent us in the most positive way. So I think that's what can be expected. I think, and it's not corny. Like, we're not going down a corny aspect. I think you think family, you think wholesome, that equals corny. With Whoopi on board, she is pushing the envelope of what is going to be considered wholesome, meaning it's going to be really funny, it's going to be really entertaining, and it's not going to be what we think of. It's not boring. It will be signature Whoopi style with new flavor on it.
Well, that's great. You know what I want to do right this second, guys? I want to share my screen and just show you the website. Okay, this is just the website. So let me take a pause and bring that up so you can see it. And I think what I'm gonna do is just bring us. Quality of this whole program, streaming platform is amazing, and that's what I like. So, we here at Successful Black Parenting, we don't like to do anything unless we can do it well. Even if we don't have the budget for it, we make sure we do it.
Yes.
So it looks like $1,000,000 for maybe like dollar store money, but you guys are doing it, and that's what I like. You have the quality there as well. So please, that's amazing. So how does that work with the partnership? So you mentioned Africa. Motherland, but you have the Africa channel, and I believe it's Attention as well as Play Watch.
Yes.
So how does that work together?
So we feel like we feel like a hub. There's no success without partnership, I believe. So instead of thinking that we need to create every minute of content on our platform, there's just so much out there that hasn't had the proper respect and marketing that it needs. So pulling in those elements, but also partnering with Playwatch Studio. It's a Black-owned animation studio here in the Midwest, and they've been creating really cool new characters and new storylines. So bringing them in. The Africa channel has been on air for 18 years in the cable world, bringing them to a streaming world, and using their award-winning content about the continent in a way that is, you can drop in and learn about African culture, or you can pivot over and listen to hip hop history and learn about Jackie Robinson. Like, it's all going to be there. And Attention is a social media company. They focus on passion points and progressive parenting and family stories. So having them, we're co-developing some new content around family hacks, life hacks, and bringing to life some of the best things about what you learn on social media, but bringing that into a longer format so you can actually dive in. I think we all get a little frustrated with, oh my gosh, that house went from looking great in 15 seconds. What are the things in there that recipe is 2 seconds, 2 minutes long. We know it's a little bit more, giving a little bit more texture around some of these things we get exposed to on social media. But we're also reaching out to some of the traditional or negotiating now with traditional studios to bring in some of those classics, those things that I watched as a young person that I loved, bring those back to life. And frankly, we've also started conversations with some companies that own the rights to some shows that were recently canceled. We saw a bunch of our favorite shows being canceled off of a lot of streamers, bringing those back to life, along with what we're developing with Whoopi and other creatives.
That's exciting because that's nostalgic, right? So
yes.
I know I would watch that. I know there's some
Yes.
that I have in mind in particular that I know you will have on there for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's going to be like something to watch. I can't wait. Just let us know.
Yes.
We get all of your press releases. Now, how does BLKFAM use AI like to ensure the content resonates?
So it's about the content. We use it's a new platform called X Stereotype. It uses AI to analyze content for unconscious bias and lets us know if there's anything in there that is creating a sense of stereotypes or giving any negative emotions based on bias. But more importantly, to me, it's about the advertisers that go on the platform. We're going to be very deliberate about the content that we bring on, but when the advertisers, because we are supported by advertising so that we make this free for everyone, we want everyone to watch without worry about costs. To be honest, we don't need another bill. We don't need another streaming service to sign up and sign on and turn on and off. This is going to be an ad-supported model, but it's not going to be the Wild West of advertising. We're going to have a really strict filter of how we're evaluating partners to bring on and in front of our audience. So a part of that is using AI to evaluate their content for inclusion, for positive emotions and positive representation, and helping them understand that not all content fits in every audience segment. So this is going to be, it's a little bit of, let's use technology to help us scale what we all know is that representation, not only in the shows, but in the advertising. The advertising is always seen more than shows. So I want to make sure what we represent from an advertising perspective is been vetted and safe for our audience.
Right. For us, we found that with advertisers, there's a kind of a multi-fold type of qualifications. For instance, we know that we get advertisers sending us different types of assets that are not representing our people. So I'm like, this is a Black parenting magazine. Why are you sending me little white kids? I'm sorry. Yes. Do you not have any other assets that you can send or create?
And I know it's so hard to push back, but it really is our job. Like, that's our job at BLKFAM, to push back on that narrative, because our kids, our families need to see us reflected in positive ways, and that includes the ads. And I don't think it's even just showing non people of color. It's the situations that they show us in. Do we have to be the security guard every time? Do we have to be the joke in a lot of these instances? So I think these are the things that will be flagged by AI. It's not going to be Larry's subjectiveness. We're going to bring science to this, so then it creates an objectivity to a very sensitive subject that I think will help us push that narrative.
I'm glad you brought that up. And just for people who might be listening who don't understand, it's like if you gave a women's magazine an advertisement with men. Okay, let's put it that way, something like that. So it doesn't relate to the readers or the audience. So that's, if you don't understand it, hopefully that helps you to understand. And the other thing that we found is that we'll get advertisers who have apologized in the past for doing something that wasn't too scrupulous with our culture. And they did it probably just to get some attention. And then, oh, we're so sorry, in the long letter that they'll put on social media. And we're like, no, it's 2024. We are tired of apologies. Stop doing that. So, that's the kind of stuff that we filter out. But I know you're going to get even more of that. So I'm glad to see that you're using AI to help with that, as well as you're cognizant and it's top of mind that this is not acceptable for this type of streaming platform. So
that's right.
Thank you.
That's right.
That's important to your audience. Let's talk about where we can find it. Like I know it's on iOS, right? And some other places.
So it's on Roku, it's on Amazon Fire. We're launching iOS next week. We're still in the Apple review, so that'll be available soon. It's on Samsung TV, and we're actually making an announcement next week that we're going to actually in more places. So gets ironed out, Janice, I'll let you know, and I'll be.
Okay, well, you broke up a little bit at the end there, but I think we got the gist of it. So yeah, just let us know if it expands, and we'll be right there with to support you with that too. Can you hear me okay right now? Okay, but we might need to refresh your screen to get you back, but hold on, I think something happened. Okay, but I'm gonna keep going. If you cannot hear me for any reason, just refresh your screen, okay? So let's talk about, oh, now I can hear you just fine. That's great, I don't know what happened. How can families who might be not able to access streaming platforms get to you? How do they enjoy this?
That's a part of the announcement that next week we'll be listing out a couple of cable systems that will be available on, so you can watch it on your regular cable TV. But more to come on that. I'll be back here to tell you all about it, Janice.
You're
I
welcome
promise.
back anytime. I can guarantee you that. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you what you can talk about, but what other sneak peeks into future projects can we look forward to?
Let sneak peek is from a big perspective. There's the Olympics coming up and we are all, what's really always interesting to me about all sports, but I think particularly Olympic sports, it's like we have always been the best there from a Black perspective, and I think this is a chance for Black Fam to highlight some of that excellence and that achievement there, but also tell new stories. There's new events being added that I think will appeal to our audience that we can double click into. So more to come on that, but we are really close to pulling together an Olympic programming slate that we'll be able to talk about in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, well, that sounds really exciting. Um,
Yes.
good. Now, as a platform dedicated to celebrating Black heritage and culture, how do you strike a balance between providing entertainment and educational content for young viewers? And this is important to me because I'm an early childhood specialist, former teacher. I want to know, how do you do that?
I think it seems like not that like I'm going to diminish the creators on YouTube, but there are people that make content that is really funny and appealing to kids, but has absolutely no value. I think of it as candy. And then there's professionals like you and other creators that actually know how to blend very seamlessly positive messages, moral and character building messages, as well as educational messages in a way that you don't really know that you've just eaten a vegetable. That is our plan, is to make education as entertainment, not the corny way of like, let's count our toes. It's really about like complex storytelling that brings together empathy, as well as, one of our sort of our most viewed series right now is Gabby Galactic. She's a space traveler and a space hero, and she's a young Black girl and a young Black woman, and she is there's calculations there's actual like physics involved. So having built into the story where you actually have to solve problems is in the root of what we're doing. But also the creators that have reached out have children's books with positive messages that they want to turn into animation. Whoopi has a series called Sugar Plum Ballerina that we're gonna, our plans are to take that and potentially make that an animated series. There's a lot of content out there that has been well received in other mediums that hasn't represented itself in live action or video. So that's how our plan is to lean on experts like you who have creative outlets and bring that onto the platform. So to think we as a team could solve everything is not realistic. That's why we think partnership is a key to success. So bringing partners in that know how to seamlessly weave those two things that feel opposed to each other but really do live together, especially for kids, but also for families. There's opportunities. I learn a ton when I'm watching historical documentaries with my son, because he loves history and he's telling me constantly. He's telling me ahead of what's going on in the series. So I think there's a chance for us to learn and for us to learn together.
Okay. All right. Now, that sounds really amazing. But let me ask you, we're getting close to our time, but
Yep.
what would you like to share with our listeners about the importance and impact of Black Fam, like in the realm of family-friendly entertainment? Like, what is it that we didn't talk about that you really want to get across as a message?
I think that the exposure part of it, like, meaning this has been a lifelong journey for me. I grew up in South Central LA. I got my first opportunity in an essay contest in high school, and I got an internship at Sony Pictures. And I thought, I grew up in front of the television. That was like my thing. And I loved it. And working there, it just totally changed my life. And from that point forward to now in New York City, partnered with Whoopi Goldberg, launching a streaming platform. I think the last thing I want people to know is it can happen. It will happen. And all you have to do is really just keep doing the things in front of you. And to me, that is what this platform is about. It's about the possibilities. And once you can actually, you're given that chance, then you're prepared for it, you can actually achieve it. And so having this lifelong journey that led me to now launching this platform is not only a testament to God, but also a testament to being ready and getting yourself ready, but never giving up on your dreams. So that to me is what this platform embodies.
You know what? You're going to be one of those people that our children and our children's children study during Black History Month, because this is really fantastic. So thank you for that.
I appreciate it, Janice. Thank you. Yes.
Now make sure you stay after we close out, because I do want to talk to you about something and how to get all of this great information we shared today, so you can share it with your audience. All right.
Awesome.
So fantastic. So thank you, Larry, for coming on the show, and thank all of you for participating and listening to Back Talk by Successful Parenting Magazine. And we are the syndicated podcast and live stream talk show for parents. Don't forget to follow us by going to our website at successfulblackparenting.com. It's full of great content to help you to thrive and not just survive as a parent. Until next time, I wish you all the best and much success. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to Back Talk by Successful Black Parenting Magazine. We'll see you soon.